Samantha Stone, we tracked you down. I know you from Unleash Possible. I know you from marketing props events and other marketing experiences. You've gone through a bit of a journey, and it started with not fun things, but now we're surrounded by your new thing. I don't know. Let's start with the new thing first. Where am I sitting? It's very bright.
Yeah. So you're sitting in the new Community Resource Center for the city of Woburn. Orange is our color, and so we went all in with orange. We weren't messing around. This is a project that I'm really passionate about and really proud of. We sat down about a year ago. We had a new mayor in our city. I was fortunate enough that he hired me as one of the first things that he did. Nice. And we talked about needs for the community. And for the last year, we've been really talking to hundreds of people who live here and understanding what they need. We've run job fairs, we've done volunteer expos. So really hundreds, thousands of people that we've interacted with. And we knew we needed a place to gather people that was different than City Hall, a place that had different kinds of spaces, different hours, different purposes. And we had no money and no extra people and no extra time. And I worked for a wonderful mayor who said, okay, Samantha, if you think somehow you could make this happen, we'll go for it together.
Great.
Which was fantastic. And through a lot of help and generosity through the property manager who donated this space to us and lots of other people who contributed, all of the things that you see around us, we are here today, and it's really an amazing, exciting space.
So your IT team scrounged up some computers. You got this space. You've got all this stuff. Who comes in here, and what do they do when they're in this space?
Individual residents absolutely come in here. Just yesterday, I was meeting with someone who was recently released from the hospital. Their brother flew in from out of town and was trying to figure out how to make sure they had the ongoing care they needed. And they just needed some support to connect to the right resources. It might be somebody who's here who needs help with access to food. Maybe they're having a hard time keeping up with bills and are struggling to pay grocery bills and they need a little help. So we'll connect them to all the right places. It could be someone who's just moved to Woburn and says, I don't know even where do I register to vote? How do I get my kids signed up for school? You know, all the kinds of, silly questions, but important ones that happen when you're new to a city. A lot of this space is about creating comfort and creating spaces that people do. In addition to like an individual resident, we hold lots of workshops. Behind us is our training room. We did a grant writing workshop to help fuel our local nonprofits and service organizations. We have a mental health first aid class that's coming up. We're hosting grief support groups here.
Wow.
So this is the kind of space that is really adaptable. And then the third group that, I talked a little bit about is service organizations or nonprofits who want to work together and collaborate, or even a resident who comes in and says, I have this great new idea. Let's sit down and brainstorm. This space allows us to do lots and lots of things, and we hope people will feel like this is an extension of our service delivery to the city. And we're brand new, so we're going to see. We know that it will evolve. It will do things we never even imagined it would do.
Samantha, I knew you from a whole different world. I knew you from marketing information, ideas, and this is ideas in a different way. You also had a bit of a rough road there for a minute. Do you want to talk about that? Because what I want to know is that's a perfect time to give up. And what happened?
Yeah, thank you. For those who don't know, I had breast cancer. I was diagnosed with that. And while we had generally caught it early, the form of cancer was very fast growing and not responsive to hormones. So I had a pretty aggressive treatments. I went through several months of chemo, including some pretty tough stuff that my hair is just growing back, and I didn't feel good. I then did surgery and radiation, but I am now done with all of those things.
Agilely.
I am completely in remission. I'm just now being scanned. And when it was time to go back to work full time, I did a little projects here and there. I said, I don't know that I want to go back and do what I was doing anymore. I was sort of called to do things that felt a little bit more impactful to day-to-day individual people's lives. It was a little bit more local to my community. So all of these things came together and said, this is the time to make a change. Here's the thing about public service that I'm learning, because this is the first time I've worked for a government agency. I don't do it because I have to or anybody told me to do it. I do it because I'm truly grateful, because I literally could not open this space without those people coming. We're holding grief support groups because Tufts is sending at no cost to us a licensed, qualified, experienced grief counselor for many weeks in a row. We are dependent on the generosity of people, and so I think because of that, but I also do it for another somewhat selfish reason, which is I believe that kindness and gratitude and help is contagious. And if I talk about the people who are doing it already, it inspires other people to want to help. And I don't mean big financial donations. I mean the woman who crocheted this blanket that's sitting here behind us, right? I mean the person who dropped off coffee. I mean the woman who sent me these motivational signs that are not yet on the walls, but will be soon, right? I believe all of us can make a difference, but sometimes we forget that a little thing can create a cascading effect. So at least for me, I can't speak for lifelong politicians and other people, but I really feel that it is helpful for us to have that dialogue and be upfront. I'm not magic. I didn't create this space. I talked about why we needed it, and then people joined me. And I'm grateful to the people who joined me.
I beg to differ. I think you are magic, and I think it shows. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. This is such a blessing. I feel really lucky to be here.